Hello everybody, we're back again. So this one I wanted to cover clubs, societies and the likes around Ireland that once you have your telescope, or even you're thinking about buying a telescope, or you just have an interest in astronomy, these are the clubs that would be in your area that might be of interest for you to join. I'll also cover another item that went out today. And yeah, so let's get to it. One of the most popular questions we get asked when people come in to buy their gear is, can I now join a club? What's around the place? So I've compiled a list of the ones that I know of and the ones that are that I've come across or we've done events with in the past that are well worth checking out for your area. So in general, in Ireland, all of the clubs, or most of the clubs, are affiliated with IFAS, the Irish Federation of Astronomical Societies. So most of the clubs will be registered with IFAS. They have a website and everything, you can go check it out. And then running in order of how I've come across them or whether we've done events with them or not. It's not necessarily in order of size or anything like that, because I have no idea how many members they all have. But there's one in Dublin called the Irish Astronomical Society, the IAS. They have meetings regularly in Dublin covering a broad range of stuff. They might get a speaker in to do a talk on, say, astrophotography or an astrophysics one or something relevant astronomical. So the IAS are one worth looking for if you're in Dublin. If you're up north, the IAA, the Irish Astronomical Association, they're up there. They cover that area, so that would be one that's well worth joining if you're up north of the border. And clubs around the country then, not necessarily county-wise, but just covering them. Midlands Astronomy Club, based out of Tullamore. They run the Cosmos event every year, which is usually March, April. Brilliant event, brilliant people there. If you're anywhere near the Midlands, they are well worth joining and looking up. Galway Astronomy Club, we've done events with them in the past as well. They typically have their event the end of January. This year it was in the Menlo Park Hotel, same as last year. Again, great group of people, very knowledgeable, well worth checking out if you're in the Galway area. Also over Galway way is Connemara Astronomy Club. They also have an astronomy club. And again, if you're further out towards the west or closer to America, you're well worth checking out the guys in Connemara. As well then you have Newport Astronomy Club in Mayo. Now, these guys run Mayo Dark Sky Festival, which is a 3-day festival, currently the only 2 or 3 day festival that's out there at the moment. And they typically run that the weekend after Halloween. It runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a multi-venue event. Absolutely amazing event to attend. They do so much, not necessarily just astronomy-wise, but they also do a lot of ecology and conservation, dark sky stuff, and a lot of stuff like that. It's a great event. They do observing when they can at this festival as well. So Mayo Dark Sky Festival, run by Newport Astronomy Club, is well worth checking out. Fiona and Derek are the guys, would be the main guys that would we've come across running that one. We're great friends with them. In fact, they were in here a while ago. Then back over to this side of the country, the eastern seaboard, you have Meath Astronomy Club, very active again. We know a huge amount of the members there. Then you have down south, you have Cork, have an astronomy club. You have Shannonside Astronomy Club, which is, I think, Limerick Astronomy Club now, but it's that area, Limerick, Clare, they're covered down there. You also have Kerry have an astronomy club, Wexford and Sligo that I know of. And then up this area again, around my area actually, because I'm in Julianstown, is the Boyne Valley Astronomy Club. They've only recently set up, like you're talking, in the past couple of months. They've got a huge amount of members already. They're actively trying to organise events with the OPW and that. Again, I know a couple of people that run that one very well. Well worth checking out if you're in Moy, Meath, Louth, North Dublin area. Balbriggan, there's also a Balbriggan Astronomy Club. It's a smaller one. And most of these clubs will have Facebook pages. Some of them will only have Facebook pages, and a few of them will have websites as well. So if you're looking to get a telescope and you're say not local to us here in Dublin, and you want to go talk to somebody down in your area of the country, seek out one of the clubs, find out when they meet. You'll probably even find that when you do seek them out, one of the members will offer some help or advice anyway. And if you have a telescope and you're just getting into it and you want to meet like-minded people, absolutely, definitely look them up. In the description for this video, I'll have a link on the website. I have a section on the website for all the clubs and societies and all of that. And then lastly, up this side of the country as well, Astronomy Ireland, they're a club as well, but they run lectures and that, and they run classes. So if you're looking to do like kind of a 6-week class in general astronomy, observing a little bit of the astrophysics end of things or the kind of deeper stuff, definitely look up Astronomy Ireland. They're based out of Blanchardstown. They have a huge amount of members, and they're the ones that are around Dublin that would meet up the most often doing, say, Jupiter watches or comet watches from their club headquarters in Blanchardstown. The other one to mention, which isn't necessarily affiliated with anybody, maybe the IAS, if you really, Mick McCreary will probably kill me for this one, kind of based with the IAS, but not necessarily. Dublin Stargazers often meet up along the seafront, either Portmarnock or Sandymount or that area. They'll often say, meet us at the Martello Tower, Friday, 8 p.m. Generally, it tends to be into the darker side of the year, so kind of September to March. And they will just literally get 8 or 9 members, set up a lot of telescopes along the seafront, and they literally, it's a form of astronomy that was really kind of highlighted by John Dobson. Sidewalk astronomy, it's called. So any runners walking by, they'll collar them, haul them in and show them the moon or Jupiter or Saturn or whatever it is that's worth looking at. You can also bring your own telescope there and they'll let you set up beside them. It's just one extra scope for people to look through. So they run day events. They tend to be kind of guerrilla type events because they're based on the weather. So they'll announce on Tuesday on their Facebook page, we're planning on meeting on Friday. It may be called off if it's cloudy. It'll go ahead if it's not cloudy, but they don't tend to know weeks or months in advance when they're doing them. So that's the Dublin Stargazers. You can look up them on Facebook as well. So yeah, if anybody has any questions or anything on the clubs or anything, just drop any questions into the comments and I'll answer them if I know of anybody that's around. But definitely, if you have a scope, look up the club. It's the best way to get to know people like me. I'm not over and out. I forgot to cover one of the interesting items that went out today, or an interesting one of note. Customer came in today with a very similar scope to mine, 8-inch Dobsonian here. Customer's one over here as well that's in for a clean. We haven't got to him yet. He was looking for pretty much the highest magnification he could get with the scope. He wanted the moon to be as close as it could be. He wanted it to be as big as it could be and all of that sort of stuff. So generally speaking, with one of these Dobsonians, if you do kind of a theoretical, oh look, the size of the telescope, the focal length of the telescope, I could probably get away with 400x magnification. Yeah, you can probably under perfectly clear skies. But in Ireland, our atmosphere limits us to what we can actually see. It's like soup, looking through soup, okay? Some nights it's worse than others. But usually when somebody has one of these, and I've checked it out for myself, a 5mm eyepiece is about as low as I would go, which will bring it up to around 240x, 240 times magnification. They generally say under Irish skies about 300x is almost the best you'll get, regardless of the type of scope that you have. We just don't have the atmosphere or the seeing conditions to kind of let us get any higher than that. So 240x with his 8-inch Dob, and the eyepiece he went for was the Skywatcher SWA Planetary 5mm. It's the same one I use at home. They're about 80 quid. You can get other ones. You can get a 5mm Celestron XL, not quite twice the price, but getting there. You could get a Baader Hyperion as well. He didn't want to kind of go spending a ton of money because in the end, he only has like a 500 or 600 quid scope. So he went with this. Again, I'll put the link in the description down below. Skywatcher 5mm Planetary did the job for him. Now, if you have a different scope, like say a Skymax 150, much longer focal length scope, you won't be able to use a 5mm with it. The lowest you'll probably go is an 8. So every telescope that you get will have a different limit with the amount of magnification you can put through it, and which eyepiece would be the maximum magnification eyepiece that you can possibly get. So yeah, just an interesting conversation we had with him today when he was picking this up. 5mm Skywatcher, planetary eyepiece. Perfect, does the job. Over and out.